Mr. President, President of IDF, and Mr. President of DAR, thank you for the invitation. I am very happy and a pleasure for me to be here with you. My topic is about the differences with social and cultural diabetes in every country. If you look at that figure, you notice that the social problem, the cultural problem, the religious problem is one of the part of the differences in fasting Ramadan. And so I highly global diabetes burden in Muslim majority region to describe fasting patterns among people with diabetes and compare some countries with their cultural and their religion differences. This is the prevalence or the number of million of Muslims in the different regions of the world. You look that in sub-Saharan African, in Asia, in Middle East, there are the majority of Muslim people. And so the Ramadan, we have to support it, and you have to make all the difference with the patient who fasting and who not fasting. If you look the projection of the number of people, of Muslim people in the different regions in the world, you look that there is increasing, a little increasing, but the proportion of population of Muslim problems, it's very big, and we have to give the issue for the fasting during Ramadan. From the latest global diabetes and the IDF diabetes atlas, I give you the prevalence of the diabetes in some countries, Arabic and Muslim countries, and you look that in Pakistan, Arabia, Saudi, Egypt, Malaysia, Algeria, the prevalence of diabetes is more than 15%. And this number is very, very important. And the percentage of patients who fasting during Ramadan, it's more than 80 or 19%. The high prevalence during Ramadan, I think Professor Abdul Jabbar told you some numbers. Ramadan is practiced among individuals with diabetes by over 1.8 million of Muslims in worldwide are fasting. The most important studies, EPDR, and you look at the number of hypoglycemia, 9% versus 2%, and the increasing the prevalence of fasting in the study, the CREATE study in type 2 diabetes in Darmina in 2020, and finally in the DAR Global Survey 2020 to 2022, we have more than 85% who fasting during Ramadan. Also, and so the type 1 diabetes, we have in the last decade, we have a little number of type 1 diabetes who fasted. But now in the DAR Global Survey, we have increasing the number of type 1 diabetes, maybe because the technology, maybe the CGM and more than tools, we offer to patient a big security. So you have to improve guidance and technology change fasting patterns. Look at this figure and you have the regional variation in fasting prevalence. If you compare many regions like Arabia, Saudi, Egypt, Malaysia, Pakistan, UK, Algeria, Turkey, and Morocco, you have difference. If you compare Turkey, we have 13% of patients type 1 diabetes who fast. But we compare to Arabia, Saudi, you have 30%. And we have a big difference with countries because the suggest of imam or the religion or it's different. In Algeria, from the last Dar francophone, which we held in 2023. We have a big session with the Imam, and now all the suggestion for fasting or not fasting come from doctors, not for Imams. And when we compare type 2 diabetes, we have also differences between some countries. We can have 47 for Morocco to 97% to Arabia Saudi. This is the differences from any countries, and we have to more education, more suggestion, more focus, more meeting with Imam to explain to the doctors and to the patient the difference and the risk score and also everything. I compare in this study for type 1 diabetes the difference with some study, EPDR, Darmena, Dar Global Survey, and Saudi versus. And you have the number of days who, including in the fasting of patient, more than 15 days in with 43% in EPDR, 70% in Darmena, and you have also 80% in Dar Global Survey and 92% versus in Arabia Saudi versus 84%. And the number, it's very, very important in Darmena with 72%, because in the Darmena we have before that many study, we have training for GPs, we have a more program for educational program, and this is improved the number of fasting in type 1 diabetes. If you compare the number of fasting and the number of days of fasting in type 2 diabetes with this study, EPDR, CREED, Darmena, and Dar Global Survey, we have a big number of fasting in type 2 diabetes, and the last one, it's 86. But we have 94 in CREED, and the Dar Global Survey, more than 90% of patients who fasting during Ramadan. And look at the country who have participated to this study. There are more than 10, 30, and 20 countries. The regional variation in clinical outcomes is in the hypoglycemia. We have a risk of hypoglycemia and hyperglycemia by geography. The difference is higher in Gulf nation and North Africa, and lowest in Arabia Saudi. The variation linked to medication use, I think Abdel Jabbar we told you the differences between many medication, analog of GLP-1 and inhibitors SGLT2, the self-monitoring blood glucose, the CGM, axis, and many sort. If you look at this number of hypoglycemia in the very if you compare the study, we have less than 2% to 60% in the Dar Global, and I think it's important. It's the patient now mentioned hypoglycemia and inform their doctors about hypoglycemia during Ramadan, because after education, before education, the patient don't mention hypoglycemia during Ramadan. The cultural and the regional variation depend to the dietary habits, tradition, healthy literacy, and the religious advice vary widely. MENA real-world study show diverse fasting practices, variation in physical activity, meal composition, and education access. And the systematic review of all study noticed that greatest HbA1c improved in Iran, Turkish, and Egypt. What are the cultural influences on fasting decision? This is the religious interpretation and the family expectation influencing fasting. Physician training and risk communication differ across region. Individuals' beliefs may outweigh medical risk assessment and technology option. Many patients have not access to the CGM and the SMBG in some countries. What are the strategies you propose to overcome these differences for safer fasting? One is the culturally adapted pre-Ramadan education aligned with the local diets and beliefs, universal use of IDR risk scoring, senior health care support, community engagement, and digital health tools. In conclusion, high fasting prevalence among people with diabetes worldwide, marked regional and cultural differences exist. Risk remains significant in vulnerable groups like elderly, and more research needed on high-risk patients. And I would like to thank the group of epidemiology for the DAR guidelines, Abdul Jabbar, Fathiya Al-Awadi, and Muhammad Akif for their support and all the work making during the preparation of the party of epidemiologic in the new guidelines. Thank you.